I'm Jackie. I'm an Arizona realtor and have built a multi-million dollar business with my husband by using what I learned from being a teacher. Now I'm bringing the steps I took to leave the classroom and become a top producing agent and team owner. So grab your coffee, cheer vanilla Coke, or maybe even a cocktail, and let's begin. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever it is that you are listening to Teachers in Real Estate. I am glad to have you. Hey guys, it's Jackie, your host for the podcast Teachers in Real Estate. So I hope you're having an awesome week. I hope you're having an awesome day. And if not, well, guess what? There's never a time other than the present to go ahead and make a change. So today, what I want to talk about is a question that I get a lot. How do I become a great real estate agent? Guys, this has kind of been like a three-part series. How can you reach success? And I wanted to, right now, I want to kind of talk about how experience really does kind of help. As you get more experience, you become better at any kind of skill, whatever it is. So let's think about it this way. Do teachers continue to improve in their effectiveness as they gain experience in the teacher profession? I think all of us would agree that as we have grown in our education story, our education life, our education years, every single year we get better. When I think back to my first year of teaching, I kind of feel bad for those students. Like I was very rigid. I think I'm allowed to say that I was very rigid in my teaching style. I thought that, I needed to teach the way that, I was taught. I needed to teach the way that I was taught was best practice in school. And they really weren't the same. And so it was finding that blend. I was kind of scared to trust myself, I think, in that first year. Now, when I look at the very last year that I taught, I was a very confident educator. I I did not just hold the book, the curriculum map, and be like, "Hey, here we go. Let me read all of the things that are in blue because that's what it says the teacher's supposed to say." No, I used my experience to be able to teach lessons in a way that was engaging for my students, a way that I knew would increase their learning, their level of mastery, their ability to actually, use what I taught them in a practical way. So, do we gain effectiveness through experience? Yes, we do. Okay. So there was a ton of research that looked at the advances in research methods, including the use of teachers and students fixed effects. Okay. So they looked at this data and it allowed researchers to more accurately answer this question, specifically by including teachers' fixed effects in their analysis. And the researchers had been able to compare a teacher with multiple years of experience to that same teacher when he or she had just a few years of experience. And in contrast, there's other studies that often used less precise methods, such as like a cross-section analysis, which compared district cohorts of teachers with different experience levels. When I always say, when you compare stuff, you kind of have to look at it with a very constructive and non-biased lens. Okay. So this is what I will say. If you're going to look at the effectiveness of a teacher with low experience in a very, we'll just say, a school that doesn't really require a lot of like highly qualified teaching. We'll just say that. I think you all are getting what I'm laying down versus a first year teacher who's in a Title I school, maybe predominantly at-risk students. A lot of them coming in with already being below grade level. You can't really compare that, right? Okay. So what I'm looking at, what does someone make? How does someone become effective? Okay. So I think coming into that, you have to understand that effectiveness is not just standardized test scores. I'm sorry to burst your bubble. If you are a huge, proponent of standardized tests, we're not going to get along. Okay. I do not believe in standardized tests. I believe that they used to hold a little bit of clout. I think they can still be used in certain instances. However, how do we determine the effectiveness of say a surgeon? Okay. Do we just give them a written test? No, we give them, field experience. We give them field exams, right? Okay. You have to actually do practical application. Why don't we do that for students? Instead of asking them just to memorize stuff and then regurgitate it on an exam, standardized test, right, with all the little bubbles, okay, where there's test anxiety, okay, when guess what, we can all have a bad day, even if we're little bitty. I feel like there needs to be something different, but whatever. That's how some people manage effectiveness. My effectiveness is viewed as kids want to come to school. That's when you know you're an effective teacher, okay? When you can create a classroom where students want to come, that's being effective. Because guess what? We can't teach them if they don't want to come, okay? I think an effective teacher is also a teacher that creates a classroom community where people feel safe to fail. Because guess what? We are all going to experience failure sometime in our life, okay? So if we can learn that failure is not a bad thing, it's actually a growing pain. Like, it's okay to fail. You're going to fail, all right? There's lots of very successful businessmen and women who have failed. And guess what? It's not the failure that makes you successful. It's the perseverance after the failure. So to me, effectiveness looks a little bit different. But basically what they said in these findings, okay, after the last 15 years, is that teacher experience is actually positively associated with student achievement. Okay. Gains in teacher effectiveness are associated with experience. Okay. But continue to be significant as teachers reach that second and often those third decades in our careers. So what does that mean? Well, you're constantly learning. Okay. As teachers gain experience, their students not only learn more, but, and these are measured through like levels of success, their student attendance, their standardized scores, but they do better. Okay. Long term, the students actually perform better as they're getting into adulthood. Teachers' effectiveness is increased at a greater rate when they teach in a supportive, guys, this is important. Teachers' effectiveness will increase when they are in a supportive and working environment, when they accumulate experience in the same grade level, the same subject, in the same district. So this is why I want to talk about this with real estate, okay? Are you going to be a better real estate agent as you gain experience? Of course you will, okay? But note in this study, effectiveness was not just positively associated with gains in years, but they also indicated that your environment that you were working on, having that consistency. Now, I was a teacher that, let's see, I taught 1 year at one school in kindergarten. I moved to another school, still taught kindergarten, but in a totally different school. Then, let's see, the very next year I taught third grade, same school. Next year I taught fourth grade, same school. Next year I changed schools, taught first grade 2 years in a row. Then I switched to another school, taught kindergarten for 1 year, taught third grade for I think like 5 or 6 at that same school. Then I went on to fifth, taught there for 3 more years. Then I moved to Arizona, where I taught 3 years in the fourth grade at that same school. Now, as I was gaining experience, staying in the same environment, staying in the same grade level, of course, I was gaining more knowledge. I was feeling more successful. Now, why was I having more effectiveness in my education? Well, that was super easy because guess what? It was staying the same. So I was able to better my craft. So how does that relate to real estate? Now, when you're going out there, you're getting your real estate license. Yes, you need to work in an environment that is very supportive. Okay. You need to work in a supportive working environment. So how do you figure out which one's the best and supportive for you? Guys, you're going to have to interview people. Okay. You're going to have to actually not just ask them questions and listen to their answers, but you need to see it face to face in front of you, right? So when they say, oh yeah, we're super supportive. Okay, well, would you mind giving me 3 or 4 numbers of some agents that are on your team? I'd like to talk to them. Okay. Talk to those agents. Okay. Ask them what they feel like. Okay. Ask to attend one of the team meetings. Okay. See what it's like firsthand, because guess what? One person may say it's supportive and you go in there and you're reading body language because you're a teacher, right? And we know when people are kind of fibbing, right? We know how they're actually feeling. We're very good at understanding like outward body language. You can determine for yourself. Now, what if you're in a very highly competitive, okay? Have you all ever taught in a school like that? Yep, I did. Okay, I taught in one school where they were so competitive. Teachers would literally put like blackout stuff on their windows. They would not share their lesson plans. Nobody ever wanted to tell anything. And guess what that did? I didn't get to learn from any of those amazing teachers, right? They were creating an environment of competitiveness. Now, are there brokerages? Are there teams that are like that? Yeah. Are you going to learn to be effective? Are you going to gain experience? No, you're not. And the reason why is because no one's going to want to help you out. Okay. They have this whole idea of scarcity. That's their mindset, that if I teach you what I do well, you're going to do better at it than me. Well, here's the thing. Those are also people who are in it for the wrong reasons. Okay. As a teacher, when I was actually in the classroom, I would share any freaking idea that I had with another teacher. Why? Because who does it benefit? It benefits the students. When we, as very highly effective, best practice teachers, when we share our skills with other teachers, it benefits the students. Okay. Quit trying to be like the only person who can teach like this certain content. I'm not going to share my lesson plan because someone may do it better than me. Good. I would love, because guess what? I can watch them and I can learn from them. So as you are going into there, as you're going into real estate, you need to make sure that you're there. Now, more experienced teachers support greater student learning. Okay. They work as a whole collective group. Make sure that when you're looking at your brokerage, maybe you're already in a brokerage. Okay. You may already be like, Jackie, I've already like started from, episode 1. Like I've already got my real estate license. Take a look, like a real look at who you're working with, who you're working side by side. You should never be the top dog, because then who are you going to learn from? There should always be someone in your group who's just a little bit more successful than you, just a little bit better at something than you, because that's how you're going to learn. Okay. Now, the research does not indicate through all of the stuff with the teaching that all teachers become better because of this one thing. Okay. It does indicate, though, that for most teachers, effectiveness did increase with experience. So, what are we getting out to? Okay. How are you going to do this? All right. How are you going to become the best real estate agent? How does this all correlate? Okay. Well, not having movement from here to here. Now, can you go with one brokerage and then go to another brokerage? Yes. Okay. You're not in a marriage. Okay. You're kind of just like dating. That's how we'll call it. Okay. So can you go from one brokerage to another? Of course you can. But one of the things that they recommended to increase effectiveness is to increase stability in your teacher job assignments. Okay. So the same holds true for real estate. Okay. How to increase your stability is to make sure that you're staying in that same assignment. So you're staying with that same brokerage, you're learning those systems, you're staying in that same niche. So if you are doing, first time home buyers, stay in there, become the expert in that area before you go and change. People who are moving around and around and around and around, yeah, they've got lots of experience. Okay. Lots of, like, oh, I've taught every grade level. Yeah, but are you the best at all of them? Now, you also need to pay close attention to the conditions of the environment that you are working in, okay? An environment that is positive, professional working environment, those are most common to give you the support and the experience that you need, okay? However, in an unsupportive environment where there is a lack of support, teachers and real estate agents will say that, guess what? The quality of the relationships among the staff, maybe the other agents in the room, whatever, those opportunities to collaborate were gone. So guess what? It decreases your effectiveness. Guys, there's so many things. Also, when you're thinking about more experienced teachers, more experienced real estate agents, you need to make sure that you are actually giving back too. Okay, there needs to be a clear give and take. Okay, so my point is, if you're getting into real estate, there's gonna be bumps along the way. Okay, there's gonna be a learning curve. There's gonna be things that you're really not great at. So how do you become an effective, experienced real estate agent? You make sure that you're in a good environment. You make sure that you're staying with the same type of systems, the same type of niche, the same brokerage. And over time, you're going to start being a more effective real estate agent. You're going to feel more confident. Your clients, which are your buyers and sellers, they're going to feel more comfortable and more trustworthy with you, because you're going to be able to not only talk the talk, but also walk the walk. Guys, real estate is so much fun. I love what I do every single day. I love that I get to pour into other real estate agents. I love that I get to help them feel more successful, that I get to help them increase in their production. I get to help them, increase their conversion rate. I get to help them feel more comfortable on the telephone. Guys, being a mentor to agents is probably one of my favorite things that I get to do. It's so similar to what I was doing in the classroom. However, it's a little more rewarding because I get to help people change their lives, just like we did in education, right? So let me give you just a little bit of encouragement. If you're getting into real estate, and especially if it's right now, okay? Currently, it is November of 2022. Don't know when you're going to be listening to this, but the market has slowed down, okay? And statistics show, I'm a big statistic person. I know I'm a dork, but 80% of real estate agents fail in their first 5 years. They do. Okay. And the reason why is because they don't know what they don't know. They don't know what they need to be working on, what they need to start learning, just like there's a huge turnover in education, right? So, how can you, as an experienced teacher, help those teachers who are just coming up in their first years? We put them under our wing, right? We become their teacher mentor. We help them along the way. We let them vent to us. We share our best practices. We share our little tips and tricks to kind of like survive certain things, right? That's the same thing I do as an experienced real estate agent. I love to mentor other agents. I love to tell them, hey, guess what? Quit spinning your wheel on this. Do it this way. The reason why I want you to do it this way is not because I don't want you to learn the struggle. I want you to avoid the struggle. Okay? I don't want you to struggle at all. I want you to quit spinning your wheels. Do it this way that's proven to actually work, right? Okay, it's kind of like I'll never forget when my mentor teacher showed me teachers pay teachers. Holy crap. Do you know how much time that saved me? I didn't have to get on Canva. I didn't have to create all of these beautiful things, right? I didn't have to spend hours and hours away from my family trying to recreate these lesson plans. There was lesson plans right there. I could take what was there and then make changes, right? I could make alterations to those plans, and then it was the best of the best world. So it was what was already created, what was already like, hey, this is great. And then I just got to add my twist. That's the best thing, right? All right, guys, if you are thinking about a switch to real estate, I would love to support you. I would love to bring you into our collective group of agents. Guys, we have partners in multiple states, and through our coaching and our training and our support, they're leaving the classroom. They're going full time and they're killing it. But maybe that's not your goal. Maybe you just want to supplement your income. Maybe you want to save for the future. Maybe you want to go on that beautiful vacation. I can help you too. Part-time real estate is a real thing. Guys, let's connect. Let's chat on ways that I can help you reach your goals. Going into real estate can be scary. Starting something new can be a challenge, but you, yes, you, the one who's listening, you keep the attention of 24 to 32 children a day for 7 hours. You maintain peace in a sea of hormones and body odor. Guys, you can do this, and I'm here to help. And I'm actually here to help. I want to help you, okay? If you connect with me on Instagram, my handle is Jackie Durbin, AZ. Guys, connect with me. I read my DMs. I answer back my DMs. I actually send people in my DMs my calendar so that way they can get on the calendar and I can help them through any struggle that they're having in real estate. I do that because I want to. So share, like, rate this podcast. Take a picture of you while you're listening to it and post it and tag me. But guys, most importantly, if you need help or if you have state-specific questions, reach out to me. I would gladly help. Guys, thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time on Teachers in Real Estate. Bye, guys.